time for us to like tune into ourselves, be intentional, and really put on some holiday metabolism armor. Why do I say that? Because many of you have gone through Hanukkah. You might have even already had your holidays, whether it's, Canadian Thanksgiving or our American Thanksgiving. Like, what does that get to look like? Many of you are stepping into Christmas and then New Year in January or even February, right? So I 100% want to be here with you today. And I'm just so grateful you're here, whether you're listening to this recording or you're on live with me. I love it when you're on live. So don't hesitate to ever reach out to me and ask questions. I had several emails that I was answering personally this morning. I personally answer most of the emails, and my team can attest to that. But today, I really want to talk to you about and show you and support you. Like, this is my passion. How do we eat and enjoy and maintain results without always starting over? Whether it's January, whether it's your birthday, whether it's for a wedding, whether it's for an event, you don't want that. I gave that up back in my 20s when I healed, right? And so it's this consistency with really having no guilt, no spiral, not a rebound, and really confident choices that you know that you're going to get and create a strategy for yourself. And I know I use the word strategy, but it's very much like when you sit down to do your job, you don't just sit down to do your job. You actually create um, actions to get to the results that you need. And when you're in your training, you learn the paths and the actions and what you need to take. And if you don't have that, you feel uncomfortable. Well, I feel the same way about that with people around their health. I believe, and I know from doing this personally and professionally, many people don't understand their body. They really just don't get how it works. We're buying foods at the grocery store that are full of chemicals that are processed that our body can't even digest, right? So I want to start something very clearly today. I'm not here because I don't want you to wake up in January feeling disappointed, inflamed, exhausted, and saying, I don't know what just happened. Or even if you do this any time of the year, I'm here to support you through that, because what happens during the holidays, it's not random. Your strategy, your energy, and you putting yourself into your life and your health, it's predictable. These diseases that you heard me talk about, those of you that were on live with me yesterday, remember, one person over the age of 60 has a chronic disease. It didn't just happen. But if there's no plan and your metabolism is going to default to survival, does that make sense? Most people don't lose progress during particular times like holidays because they don't care. They lose progress because stress rises, your structure disappears, you're running in all different directions, your stress and your cortisol take over, you're running to this party, to that party, and it's just ongoing. Today, I want to show you how to protect your metabolism, not only through the holidays. Yes, I'm using the holidays because it's on our mind, and I reach into the time frame of what's happening so that you can understand it and relate to it and not recover from these major scenarios in our life afterwards. I know so many people that lose all this weight just for an event, for a wedding, and then they're back in my clinic or come to my clinic soon after and they're like, I really don't know what happened. And then we backtrack and we actually know what happened, right? So, who is here ready to feel like December? You get to be on point. Drop here in the chat and let me know. For those of you that are on that can answer, because I know some of you are driving, because I love to engage with you guys, right? It's so important for me to support you and engage because I don't want you to lose your progress. So I really want to hear you. I really want you to hear me for a moment. and really listen quietly and connect. I want to talk about broken metabolism, sugar, and the holidays, right? Not someone that is casually turning into another holiday live, but is someone whose body may already be giving you warning signs around sugar. Now, remember, it's not just sugar. It's starches, it's rices, it's pastas, it's breads. The body doesn't know the difference between sugar that you pour a mouthful of sugar, maple syrup, molasses, dates, like bananas, even though they're good for you, they're still sugar. The body doesn't know the difference about it, right? And it's already probably giving you warning signs. And the fact that you're here, you know that your body isn't living in the best way that it knows. So, here's some scenarios and some symptoms that could be coming up for you. Waking up 2 to 3 times a night to urinate, it's not aging. That strong urge to go, even after you've already used the restroom, it's not normal. The tingling that you have in your feet or the cramping that you have in your feet, that constant exhaustion, or the lack of strength and joy and peace emotionally, that's not just the holidays, you guys. That is your metabolism under strain. It's drowning in the sugar and the stress and the instability. And here's what I see every single holiday season from all my patients that don't take me seriously and don't continue on their plan that we've created for them. Their sugar intake goes up, their stress increases, their sleep goes down, their structure begins to disappear, and a metabolism that was already fragile starts to crack again. Your blood sugar starts to run high, insulin resistance worsens, right? That's from the sugar that you're intaking. You're breaking down your muscle. And guess what? Sugar is depleting your nutrients. You're waking up wired and exhausted all day. You're craving that sugar at night, and that food noise is real. And you know what? Many of you tell yourself, I'm going to deal with this in January. But your body is crying out with all those symptoms I just listed because physiology doesn't wait, right? We talked about that yesterday. Your body has to balance itself. So, how people slide quietly into insulin resistance, prediabetes, cardiovascular disease, whether it's nerve pain and tingling, you're not sleeping as soundly as you typically do. Maybe your brain fog has come back, or chronic fatigue. Or, quite honestly, you might be sick. I was at my mom's last night and I heard 3 or 4 people in the family who have gotten sick. Why? I can tell you why, but that's not up for me to analyze their life. I'm here to support you. This didn't happen overnight. It didn't happen dramatically, is what I tell patients. But it's one holiday season at a time. And usually, what begins to happen after this, ready? You're told you're pre diabetic. You're handed a prescription. And I don't care if it's me giving you a supplement or a medical doctor giving you metformin or some other pill. It is still a pill for a diagnosis. And that's why I am so adamant that nutrition and your lifestyle and working with me gets to change. Yes, I'll prescribe that to keep you safe. Yes, I'll support you to keep you safe, but I don't want you to be on that forever. But I know the reality is nobody explains the real issue that you're struggling with. When your metabolism is dysregulated, your body is undernourished. You're not feeding it what it needs. It's undersupported and it's chronically stressed. And your insulin resistance gets worse. Your blood sugar, again, it rises. Your nutrients are depleted with high sugar. Your muscle loss accelerates. You feel weak. And that cycle tightens. And what I really want you to hear is this is just not about sugar, you guys. It's about your metabolic foundation being broken down because you didn't treat your body the way it needed to be treated. And the truth is that you probably didn't know. And I want to be very clear about something right now because I'm so passionate and that's why I'm speaking so loud. You cannot fix your broken metabolism by white knuckling it through the holidays, chasing supplements, skipping meals, grabbing sugar and starches, dropping out your workouts because you don't have time, fasting even harder because you think if you fast, you're going to feel better, or saying, I'm going to start again in January or February. Guess what fails the first 6 weeks of a holiday resolution? It fails in 6 to 8 weeks. Why? Because you haven't given it a plan. And your everyday metabolism is dysregulated and your body is trying to adapt. And it's not in your favor. That's where the fat comes on. That's where the exhaustion comes on. And that's why I'm here today. I'm not here to scare you. I'm here to be real. I'm not here to sell you hype. I'm here to protect your future and your health asset. The holidays don't ruin your metabolism, they expose it. They expose it where your blood sugar becomes unstable. Your cortisol, because of all your stress and you're running around and all your to-do list is running the show. And guess what? Your body's not getting the minerals and nutrients that they need. It becomes depleted. So right now, today, I'm going to show you how to put on that metabolic armor on your body right now. Not just during an event, not just in January, not just after the holidays, because I don't want you to enter the new year inflamed, exhausted, and starting over again. You heard me say several times throughout this process of supporting you guys is that those people that make change right now are more successful than you start into January, and you have a plan for yourself, right? It's just calm, confident, and protective choices that you're making. Even right now, during stressful times, the choices that you're making are going to set you up because the first thing that you have to do is have courage is courage to create confidence, to create a plan. So I want to ask you something honestly. Who feels like sugar and stress are a bit harder during the holidays than any other time of the year? Drop sugar in the chat. And I want to say this early so that there's no confusion. I'm waiting for you guys to drop sugar in the chat if you can. If what I describe feels personal, if you already know your metabolism is fragile, this is not something to sit quietly about. If my team could please drop the calendar link in the chat right now, because the earlier you intervene, you guys, the easier this is to turn around. The longer you wait, the more inflamed and the more diagnosis and chronic disease and heart and inflammation adds up. So guess what? Waiting is not protecting your metabolism and your health. Action does. So really 100%, I'm connecting with you because this is important. So how many drop sugar in the chat? I'm not great. You guys are with me. This is so important for you to get wrapped around. I'm not saying don't eat this, don't eat that. I'm here to say you can have it all, but in places and times, there's a place and a time to have what you need. But you've heard me talk about yesterday how we're balancing our protein, our healthy fats, and our carbs. So why, you guys, do you think motivation drops during the holidays? Because this is where people begin to tell stories to themselves, or unquote, I don't like this, but it's true. You begin to lie to yourself. It doesn't disappear during the holidays. It gets overridden. Remember, I say to you, willpower is going to leave like you on a dime. Motivation is the same way. Here's what begins to happen. Your schedule becomes disrupted because you're not in your normal schedule because you're trying to do all the things. But guess what? I'm going to tell you a secret. The holidays come at the same time every year. So why do we do this to ourselves? We end up with less sleep. We have all these decisions that we have to make. There becomes more social pressure. Like I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday and she was saying, so many are like, stop exercising. Like you just give up your exercise so that you can go. And it's like, no, that is her health, right? So that's a social pressure that you lean into, right? Or even if you're choosing to drink alcohol or you don't really drink alcohol, but you're at a party and everybody's drinking it and you haven't fed your body, like we talked about yesterday, the protein and healthy fats to eliminate the sugar of the alcohol. You can drink, but you got to give your body the nutrients that it needs. There's more emotional weight on you right now. And what happens is your brain and your thought process becomes weakened. It's overloaded, right? And it's also overloaded with all the messaging in our world right now. We are not meant to scroll and to make judgments, and we're not meant to have our phones 24/7. When you're working on something, put your phone away. Unless, of course, you're waiting for a response that there's a birth or something like that that's an emergency that you're waiting for a response from. Put your phone away. Focus on what you're working on. Don't burn your brain out. The higher amount of sugar affects your brain, right? And when your nervous system gets overloaded, guess what happens? Your long-term outcomes get lost. And that's why people don't fall off, they actually default. So I want you to think about it, and you can drop it in the chat if you want. What feels hardest right now for you? Is it the parties? Is it the setup? Are you hosting the holidays? Is it the evenings? Right? What is it that feels hard right now? That you feel like you're off your game and you're not taking care of your body? All of the above. Thanks for being honest, Ashley. Yeah. It's all these pieces that we put in and all these decision making, right? And if you're somebody who's a procrastinator, I used to be that way. I used to be the one that I would wrap all my presents Christmas Eve with my father. I admit it, but I had to change because I got to take better care of myself. That wasn't working for me. Yeah, hosting the holidays, that's challenging because you want to make it perfect. You want to make it right. You want to make sure everybody gets along. You want to make sure you're all connected. You want to make sure your food is perfect, like, or however it looks, right? But does it really have to be? Can people just forgive you because you're human? That's really what I want you to think about, because it's really how we put our life together and how we show up for ourselves that makes us be the healthiest version of ourselves, or I should say that creates that healthiest version of ourselves. Because as we step into the holidays, if you're under stress, you've got high cortisol, and then your sugar craving cycle steps in. And this is the piece that almost nobody explains to you, but this is everything. During a stressful time, your cortisol is going to rise, your blood sugar becomes unstable, your sleep gets less, or it becomes more disrupted. And guess what? You want that craving. That craving intensifies. You want that sugar. You want that chocolate. You want that piece of bread. Sugar's not the problem, you guys. It's the cortisol that's driving your bus, and your bus is not going to stop until you stop it. Sugar temporarily lowers cortisol so your body can learn this pattern fast. It's stress, it's sugar, it's crash, it's more stress, it's more sugar, it's more cravings. That's not a lack of discipline. That's your biology. That's how your body works. So if you're choosing to skip breakfast today or to skip lunch because you're out shopping and doing whatever you're doing and you're under higher stress, that sugar, that crash, more stress, that's that sugar loop that you hear me talk about. I want you to think about what holiday food is your biggest trigger. And then I want you to think to yourself, is it in my house and does it need to be in my house? So, what is that food for you? Baking. So, if you're baking, let me share with you, have your breakfast or your lunch or your dinner, depending on when your choice of baking is, and build your health, build your blood sugar. So that as you're baking, you're not feeling like you have to test everything, right? You're not feeling like, I got to try this. Let me try this cookie, or I'm hungry. That cookie looks good and that's my favorite, right? And this is probably not your best option, or bake things that you don't love to eat, that you know somebody else likes, but might not be something that you choose to eat, right? So there's all different ways that will support you. But the key to all of this is to have your body nourished. I want to pause a minute here, because if you're recognizing something that I'm saying in this stress craving loop, this is not something that you can white knuckle through, right? I said it's your biology. Because if cortisol stays on hack during the holidays, it's going to set you up for a weight rebound, which I know none of you want. It's going to set you up with higher inflammation, blood sugar dysregulation, and you're going to get exhausted in January, and or you're probably going to get sick, right? Because what does all of this stress and sugar do? It suppresses your immune system. What does grief do? It suppresses your immune system. I've had to work hard to keep my immune system strong because I struggle with grief right now. So I'm asking my team to drop the calendar link in the chat right now. For those of you that are still thinking, I don't want you to undo the work that you've already done with me this year. I don't want to wait. I don't want you to have to wait until January to put that armor on to protect yourself. I want to create simple resets for you when you fall off. Let me say this clearly. You're not going to eat perfectly. You're going to have indulgences. That's not the problem. The problem is that spiral. I had that 1 sugar. I had that 2 sugar. I had that 3 sugar. Oh, there goes a week. There goes 3 weeks. There goes a month. There goes 6 weeks. There goes 4. And then you look in the mirror and you're like, what have I done? I can't tell you how many patients come to the clinic. They're like, what have I done come January? We start to unpack. They've taken their supplements, but they're just eating whatever, right? Because one meal becomes one day, one weekend, one month, and resetting is quickly for you the skill. So who needs a reset plan that they can trust? Drop reset in the chat. And for those of you that are watching, I was very surprised. I opened my calendar link for 10 reboot resets as a give to you guys. One person took it. I'm giving my time to you. One person has taken it. That blew me away. I'm like, wow, how much more can I support? Now I give my time away to help support, to see where you're at. So let's talk about the 72-hour bounce back method. This is one of the most important tools I teach. You don't need a detox. You don't need to fast. You don't need to punish yourself. You just really need 72 hours of structure. Then that becomes a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And after a month, if you've got your metabolism in check, you're not going to crave sugar. Your biology will not let you until probably you have another emotional disruption or you begin to not feed your body the nourishment. So in 72 hours, we look at stabilizing your blood sugar, calming your cortisol. We talk about what is driving it, getting your digestion in a better place, because a lot of microbiome imbalances is what causes us to have the cravings. People don't talk about that. Eating your 12 varying types of vegetables every day to feed your microbiome is important. And then you rebuild your confidence. What did I say earlier? Have the courage to do it, the confidence to follow through. Here's what you get to create at all of your meals. This is just surface level right now, you guys, because I've been speaking about it since November. Protein at every meal. Add in a healthy fat. Keep your hydration and your minerals up. You get your minerals from the vegetables that you eat. Move your body. I don't care what you guys do for exercise. And I'm saying that with love, not disrespect. I don't care how you move your body. It's freezing here today. I went out and I walked Bodhi, my pup. It's freezing. It was cold. It was windy. I even chased him because he ran out the door and I had bare feet on, and the earth is cold. We had a rainstorm yesterday, so we lost the snow and my feet were cold. And you know what I said to myself? Instead of saying to myself, oh my gosh, it's freezing, Bodhi, hurry up and come. What I said was, thank you for making me run on this grass, because now I got maybe 3 minutes of being grounded and then I got him in the house. I didn't look at that as negative, and it was cold. So this is what I know helps. So then I stood and I looked at the sun to balance my circadian rhythm first thing this morning. The other thing is sleep, protecting your sleep. Do you know that you burn fat when you sleep as long as your blood sugar is balanced? Your brain detoxes at night when you sleep. This is how you prevent a slip from becoming a setback. Creating this reliable way to to reset yourself so that the holidays don't own you. Having this strategy in place, or connecting with me and asking me questions, because January can become a recovery month instead of a momentum month if you don't take action. And this is where I want you to begin to build your personal reset strategy, not a generic one, not one that somebody on Instagram tells you to do, or you know what you have to do, but you can't figure out how to get started. You don't have the courage to get started. Why? Because it probably hasn't worked out for you, but that's okay. If you fell off a bike when you were a kid, did you just fall off a bike and just never get on again? Unless you're unfortunately in a wheelchair and you can't walk, did you just keep falling down and never walk when everybody was around clapping for you when you were a baby? Like, great job, come on, you can do it. And you're crawling all around and you're falling over. Did you just decide you weren't going to walk? It's the same thing with your health. Because what has to work for you is very different than what gets to work from your friends and your family. You have a different DNA, a different genetic makeup than everybody else. There's no eye print that's the same, because I look in iridology when I see patients. There's no fingerprint that is the same, and there's no DNA genetic exact as anybody in your family. I'm hoping this makes sense. And I'm speaking so loud because I don't want you to suffer anymore. So let's talk about oils and cooking. It seems so small, but it doesn't. I see people doing everything right, but they're still inflamed because they're heating olive oil. They're using unstable seed oils. Or the restaurant is cooking from fat. This drives up inflammation. And then I know that there's going to be something in the chat that says, I always cook with olive oil. Do not cook with olive oil, you guys. Olive oil is fantastic. It's an anti-inflammatory, right? However, when you cook with it, you're breaking down all the quality essential fatty acids that are in there. So when you're done cooking, you want to take it off the stove, right? When you're done cooking, you want to take it off the stove because you don't want to drive your inflammation up. Once you take it off the stove, then pour your olive oil on it. This is awareness. And so many of my patients still come in and they're like, yep, I cook with olive oil. I'm like, okay, let's talk about this. Oh, shoot, I forgot. Why did they forget? Because there's so many things that we go over each time that they just forgot. It's okay because there's too much information sometimes. So let's talk about ways that you can meal prep. Remember, I started at the very beginning that the holidays are not meant to be perfect, right? Success is not about perfection. I even mentioned it in those that are actually hosting the holidays. It's really about removing friction. When people fail, there's no protein ready. Your decisions pile up and you can't make a decision. And then your hunger meets chaos, right? Here are some things that I know that work for me personally and for the patients that I've walked through this journey with for 20 plus years. Cook once, eat it twice, right? Or food prep simple repeat meals that work for you. When I'm under a lot of stress, I can food prep salads in minutes and I can bake a protein in the oven. And that can be my healthy fat, all my vegetables. It's not my perfect choice, but it's easy, right? Always remember that the protein that you eat anchors you, and so does healthy fats. Eating 1 hour upon waking, an easy breakfast, this helps you with your strategy. It's not rigid, you guys. It's just like, what's going to work for me to help me be the healthiest version of myself, right? What about my family? My family drinks alcohol. My family eats sugar. They're like, why are you eating like that? You've tried every diet. Like, I've heard this. This is real life. Some of your partners, wives, husbands, friends, they support health changes and others don't. They sabotage it. They probably don't even mean to because they don't understand how you're feeling in your body. What you understand is you don't want to be here anymore. You want to feel like the healthiest version of yourself. You want to live in a body that you love every single day when you wake up. You don't need permission to protect your health from loved ones or family or your support system. You need clarity and a plan. It's really that simple. Hence why the name of my company is Simple Health. Health does not have to be difficult, but we're told it's difficult. We have all these symptoms. We walk into the doctor's office and they hand us prescriptions. No judgment, but they don't really step back and get to know you. You've got 10 to 15 minutes with them. When you meet with me, my first plan, it's 120 minutes. Yeah, I said it, 2 hours. You learn about yourself. You learn about where you're being stopped. You have clarity of where your health is. Yeah, I might have to give you a supplement, which is a pill for an ill, like we talked about earlier. Yeah, I might have to give you herbs, but I give you a clear plan of nutrition, exercise, lifestyle, meditation, prayer for you to have your 7 pillars of wellness. Think about it for yourself. Where do you feel least supported? Is it with friends? Is it with family? Or is it social events? Where is that for you? That's going to help you set up a plan to know where you're going. And that is key. I want to be really clear here. If you try to navigate the holidays with stress, food, emotions, and expectations, here's capitalized parentheses alone, your mind is going to walk you right out of consistency. Your willpower is going to let you down. Your motivation is going to leave behind you. I don't want that for you. Can we drop my calendar link in the chat again, please? I'm here to help you. I'm here to help you create a plan, adjust that plan in real time, stay grounded, and actually help you protect your progress that you've been working on throughout this whole year. If 2026 is what you said, my health is it. What's your word for the year? What's your intention when it comes to health? Because I'm going to tell you what, if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. I'm just being real. You don't need January to feel better. You don't need to keep starting over. You need metabolic armor right now. Imagine this. I did this yesterday on the live for those of you that were here. Imagine January 1st, waking up, having great energy, feeling super happy, super joyful, not bloated, not inflamed, not exhausted, and not ashamed. But you're steady. You have a plan. You're clear. You've created the courage to make changes to your health. So that makes you in control of yourself. The future health is built right now, right this moment, today, December 20th. Is that clear? Drop clear in the chat if that's clear. Does that make sense? Is everybody hearing me? Fantastic. Thank you, Jennifer. Now I know people are here listening. Got it. So here's what I want to ask you. Please, can you tell me and my team, thank you, Andrea, what the biggest aha moment was, the mic drop that you had on today's live? What was the best thing that you learned? What was that aha moment? Because you know what? This helps me. This helps me gain clarity how to support you. I know how to support patients because I do it every day. I have people on my team that support me. I don't do it by myself. When I need to learn something, I'm getting in communities. I want to learn more about AI for myself. So what did I do? I message people that I know that are in AI so that I can learn it and get in their groups and understand it because it's coming fast. And you know what? This is a little bit off the health journey piece, but they're saying that women 40 and over are going to be the ones that are left behind because they're ignoring it. I don't want to be that person. I want to understand it. I want to understand it for you, for me, and for my life. So what am I doing? I'm getting in a room for that support. If you need support in health, book a call with me. That's going to help you. So plan was Katie's biggest key. What else was very supportive from today's live? Anybody else have a response from those that are live with me? Like, what did you enjoy about today? Is this going to help you make a change for tonight, this afternoon, tomorrow, depending on where your time changes? Because I know I said several points that help you step into yourself. Because here's the truth, you guys. The holidays don't ruin your health. It's the lack of strategy and showing up for yourself. You don't have to do this alone. I don't do my life alone. You don't have to do it alone. And I want that to really sink in for you. Does that make sense? Like, you don't have to do this alone. So many people go out and hire a personal trainer and then soon get frustrated. It's not the personal trainer's fault. It's that you didn't figure out how to make it work. Your emotions, they're going to leave you in a minute. I can answer a couple questions over the next couple minutes. Does anybody have any questions that I can support before we jump off? And I just want to say thank you. Merry Christmas and happy holidays if you do jump off. I appreciate you, and I am here 100% to support you. That's my mission. That's what God put me on this earth to do, to heal all of you. Are there any questions that anybody has? I'll just pause for a minute so that I can see if there's any questions that I can support you with. Maybe you're going to a holiday party tonight. Maybe you're setting up for a gathering today. What is that? How can I support you? All right, guys. I guess there's no questions. I'm waiting a few minutes. So I'm just pausing to see if you guys have any questions. I am sending you again blessings. Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy New Year. We are going to be, Hazel, can my team drop in the chat when we're doing our next live, which will be my last one until the new year? I'm checking out for the holidays to take care of me and my health and my family so that I can be present and heal for all of you. If you can drop in the chat what our next, I believe it's Monday, and I think it's at 11 a.m. And then after that live, I'm done. I'm not done, but I'm taking a break for myself. I need that. It's been a hard year for me. Did you drop it in the chat, Hazel? Okay, she got it in the chat. So December 22nd, that's Monday at 11 a.m. Drop that link in your calendar so you don't forget. You'll also get emails and texts. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being you, and you've got this. What is your strategy today that you're going to do this holiday season? All right, guys, have an amazing rest of your weekend, and thank you for being you, and we will